It's early by Dusty Wheel standards.
Um, Live? No, that's a commercial. I'm looking for. Oh wait, is this one?
Okay, it's early by
I think we're
Dusty
good.
Wheel. It's live.
Hi.
Off now. It's fine. They can only hear you, not me, which is amazing. Which is probably good because I was like talking most of the time. I can hear you. I'm dead. Okay, it's ready. Are we all ready? Oh, we're on. Guys, hi. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show. It has been a while, and you can tell because we are in shambles right now. But you know what? We're having a good time, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's where we're at. We're live now, and I just turned on the desktop audio, so you should be able to hear my guests. Let's try
Whoa.
again, shall we? Let's hit the reset button. Welcome to the Wheel and Chill Show, where we talk about the Wheel of Time and chill. We have a very special guest today. Joe from Talk Around Riode. Everything messed up whenever I was trying to go live, so the description of the video doesn't yet have his website, but by golly, it will once we get off of here. And it'll have everything. It'll be amazing. In the meantime, though, I want to ask Joe to please just introduce himself so everybody knows like what he's doing, where he's at in the Wheel of Time community, how he got started, when he read the books for the first time. Just give us the whole 9 yards.
That's a lot of questions.
Sorry.
Good luck.
So I am one of 3 co-hosts from the Talk Around Riyadh podcast. We're a podcast that follows mainly the production of the television show. We're really show focused, but we do talk about the books as well because we do character deep dives and all kinds of things like that as well. We started 2019, late 2019. I think it was shortly after Rosamund was announced as Moraine. That's what really got me excited for the show and made me want to do a podcast. So I asked a couple of my friends if they wanted to do a podcast. They were like, hell yeah. And there we go. We've been doing it for almost 2 years now. So I first started reading the books back in, it's been a long time, 98, 99, somewhere around there. I think Path of Daggers had just come out or sometime around there.
Nice.
I think, all right, I distinctly remember Winter's Heart being like the first book I had to wait for. It was recommended by a couple of friends of mine. They one night they made me a list of all fantasy book series that I have to read, and The Wheel of Time was at the top of the list. So I said, all right, I'll start with this, and I never looked back. It's weird though because once A Memory of Light came out, I read A Memory of Light, finished it, took it all in because it's a pretty heavy, emotionally draining book. Read it again because I wanted to make sure I had read all the books at least twice, and then I was basically done with The Wheel of Time. I didn't really talk about it much, didn't really think about it much until they started, talking about the TV show, and then I got like rejuvenated and got really excited about it.
That's amazing. I love that. Nimhethrill and Twitch, Tyshar, Wheel and Chill people. I'm seeing a lot of people in chat saying hi, welcome. You guys are all extreme professionals. This is the best stream I've ever seen. So many of those comments. I'm really, really appreciating that. Thank you so much.
It's so worth our salaries. It's not even funny.
And Joe, excellent job describing yourself. I love it. Welcome to the stream. I hope you have a good time. All right, so we always briefly introduce ourselves to the 3 hosts of the Wheel and Chill show. And let's start with Tavern, shall we?
Howdy. Tavern here. Most people call me Tavern. Yeah, I am a co-host with these 2 lovely days. I have merch that I sell on Redbubble under Tavern. So if you want to go check that out, there should be links somewhere. We have also created our first frosted mug with the new logo. Here's got it over there. That can be found on Zazzle, and there will be a link to that. All Wheel and Chill merch will be on the Zazzle account, so that we have one place to go. Other than that, that's it. I mean, I've missed you guys. I've missed all of you.
We've missed you too.
For sure. Winespring, what about you?
For sure.
Sorry, feel free to drink really quickly. Also, I see you. I see you, Nimhithril. I am not a dark friend. Okay? Winespring, keep going.
Well, I don't know about the whole dark friend thing, but I am Winespring. We know about that. I have the winespringcafe.com. You should check it out. It's a Wheel of Time themed recipe blog. It's delicious stuff. Enjoy it. Let me know if you do. It's fun.
Go to the website, winespringcafe.com.
Go to the website.
I still need to get like a little graphic that pops up every time we say it. That would be really fun, but I'm not that professional just yet. Okay, and then
no rush.
Yeah, good frosted mug. It's pretty solid. I've got one or two now, Wheel and Chill included. All right, so I am Kritter XD. I do TikToks. I'm on YouTube now, Twitch. I'm one of the hosts of the Wheel and Chill show. I'm Egwene Alvear on Twitter, and I have a fun little Discord. So, come say hey on any of those platforms. I am really, really close to 2,000 subs on YouTube. So if you aren't subbed yet, please, just click the little button. It's free. And then I could be at 2,000. Would that be sick? And then also, I'm almost at 10,000 on TikTok. I'm like, I've been so close for 2 months. So if you're not following me on TikTok yet, that would be pretty, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Name that reference. Anybody? Okay.
I will go follow you on TikTok right after the show.
Great. Thanks, Tavern.
What?
I really appreciate that.
What is TikTok? I'm not into TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account.
What is this TikTok? What is this?
Get off my lawn.
Are you familiar with Vine?
No, I know what TikTok is. I don't have an account, but yeah, I know.
Don't talk about it.
If I did though, you'd be my first follow.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that.
I haven't seen anybody post about it on my MySpace, so I don't know what it is.
Hey, you know what? TikTok is for all ages. They're seeing in the chat. People aren't like, "Oh, I'm too old for that." You're never too old for TikTok. It's a beautiful
Is that like
place.
Friendster? The Friendster.
Yeah, it's like Friendster. Okay, yeah, TikTok is like short YouTube cocaine or long Vine. So either, if you're familiar with either of those, that's what it is. So I fit right in there with my spastic tendencies, as you can tell by how this stream started. Hopefully a lot of you missed it.
I'm going to do a cringe check real quick.
Cringe check?
Yes, this is a cringe check. So people in chat, Joe, let me know if this, what the hell, it just went to an ad. Let me know this freaks you out a little bit. ASL?
What?
Anybody know a reference to that?
ASL, like American Sign Language?
My language?
No. Well, let's see if anybody in chat gets it.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Back in the day of modems and AOL, people would go into chat rooms and type ASL, which stood for age, sex, location.
Oh yeah!
Oh God! Okay,
wow.
No, yeah, that's a little bit of a throwback. All right.
We're good.
Forgot to put the slash marks, right? Wouldn't people put slashes in between them?
Yeah, but do you say that A/S/? That's kind of weird to say.
I don't think I've ever said it out loud, to be honest with you.
I don't think I've ever said it in a chat, to be honest with you. But okay. Yeah. Anyways, we need to.
What's happening?
What is TikTok? It's like if Instagram and Reddit had an ADHD kid.
Wow.
I mean, kind of. All right, so here we go, guys. Team, fam. We were talking about Rand today. We're not talking about TikTok, even though if you're not following me, you should. So, Rand, we're going to start this stream by talking about the difference between Rand in the show and the difference between, in the show and the books. The differences, the things that people saw that read the books and they were like, what am I seeing? This is not Rand. And I think it's a perfect time to note that even though I do have a little banner that says full spoilers, just in case you can't read, there are full spoilers in this stream, so if you have not read all the books, now is your chance to get out of here. This is your warning. No complaining in the future if you get spoiled on anything. Okay.
I'm known to spoil things too, just for no reason. It just comes out. It's kind of like a disease or something I have, so I'm glad that this is full spoilers.
You're safe when it comes to the Wheel of Time, at least. Try not to spoil the end of other stuff, though, because that would be sad. Is this a Rand rant or a rant? Says Sion Sona Orante.
Wow. Where'd that come from? Where was that at?
I like that a lot.
That was impressive.
We're going on a rant. That's a good one. I like it. Sorry, I just trilled the R because I thought it was a good touch. All right. So,
that's good.
Anybody want to just chime in with their first, most noticeable, obvious difference between Rand and the books and the show?
It's the clothing.
He was wearing wool.
It's
What do
true.
you mean? What do you mean? What's
I
wrong with
think
Like
clothing?
clothing,
Did
interesting.
he shop at American Eagle for that sweater? I mean, come on.
That was
Uh,
a hand
that
knit
sweater-
wool sweater.
Okay.
They're artisans then, because that shit was dope.
It was dope.
It was like off the rack dope.
And that sheepskin coat, that was pretty dope
Yeah.
too. But it never got
dope.
dirty. He never got dirty, Rand. I don't know. I
Okay.
didn't like that.
So we're talking
Dirty Rand.
Dirty Rand.
I'm gonna go
Luke,
on a
Ice
dirty
Jedi.
Rand.
I see your comment. Appreciate it. I'm not going to say it out loud though because
And
there
Rant
are going to be
DMC.
so many F words on a stream before it gets in trouble. Okay, so the clean clothes. Number one difference, huh? Number one difference.
Big number one difference.
All right. He definitely got dirty. You're right. He did.
Okay.
I have
The
heard.
one thing. Oh, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
Tavern, all you, because I was
No,
just.
the one thing that I'm just gonna put it out there that kind of threw me. It didn't throw me off. It's like, oh no, everybody was born in the Two Rivers. Everybody was born in Two Rivers. Here you got the one kid whose accent is completely different from everybody else. Like Josh's accent comes out and it's a little different, and it's like it kind of sets them apart, even amongst the cast. So everybody that I talked to, they were like a little confused as to who the Dragon Reborn was, but there were two things. One, he literally was different than everybody else, right? And two, they tried to downplay him so much that they gave away the fact that that was the Dragon Reborn.
Yeah.
The show.
A lot of people had said like, everybody else has something, and he's just boring, so he must be the one. I think eventually they thought. that
Yeah.
And the first 3 episodes or 4, they were really confused.
So I guess
And then it was just like
the difference there is like not so much in the character, but in the way they presented the character, because they hid who the dragon was from us. In the book, you knew. I mean, it was Rand's POV. His dad is ranting and raving about how he found him on a mountainside or whatever. You knew that he was something special. In the show, they buried the Rand dragon reveal until the 7th episode, which I thought was cool for the show, and it kept a lot of my friends who were watching it who hadn't read the books kind of like intrigued, like, what, who is it going to be, whatever.
For sure.
And
yeah.
So I think that was a cool narrative choice, and I think it was the right choice. But other than how they presented him, I didn't see that many differences between book Rand and show Rand, personally. Anybody disagree?
no, I agree. It was very similar. That was the one character, I think, that followed the book characteristics the closest. Everybody else had a little bit of a differing thing, and Rant, god dang it. Damn you, chat. And Rand was pretty similar. I mean, even had that, I've said it before, he even had that whole, Harry Potter book 5, oh, woe is me, I'm the, me kind of crap, whininess that was very, very there for like the first 3 or 4 episodes, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think they were really close. Yeah, I think that he was probably the closest, I think, to the book. The only maybe like a slight difference is he was a little bit more, a little rougher, I guess. Like with, in the books, he's a lot more like proper, so to speak, and gentlemanly. Where in the show, he was a little bit less so. And I think that was just the, they said they wanted to make them a little more mature. So,
Sure.
yeah, that was really it, though. I think they hit him spot on, though. I think he did a good job.
Winespring,
go ahead. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, Winespring hasn't really chimed in yet. Do you have one spooled up? Do you have thoughts here?
Yeah, I was thinking about my favorite scene from the show that kind of gave me the feeling of Rand from the books was when him and Matt were entering into, I believe it was Tarvalon, and he purchased the treat and ate it. And like, he was just so like happy and like, I don't know, ready to explore, open-minded. All of this was coming through. That was such a good like Rand moment, I guess, for me. That's what I was kind of sitting with. Asked me.
He was really cute. Sorry, Tavern. What were you saying?
Oh, I'm trying to remember. Did he ever yell at Egwene in the books?
yell at her?
Did he ever like raise his voice to her? Because in the
maybe
books,
like-
you know, we talk.
Book 3
Hmm.
or 4, they started fighting like siblings at some point, you know, and she
Right.
like whenever she's like, stuff your cat in your hat and stuff it down your breeches, Randolph, or whatever,
Oh my
they're like
gosh.
yelling at each other in that scene. Whenever she's like,
Yeah.
I think she sits on
I'm trying
him.
to think.
I'm pretty
because-
sure
yeah.
in book 4, right? They had to have. They spent a lot of time together.
Yeah, I was just trying to remember
Mhm.
because in the show there were a couple of times where they kind of snapped at each other. I mean,
Yeah.
and of course their whole relationship was different in the show than
Mhm.
it was in the books. So yeah, I was just curious because I like what Joe said earlier. He was, he's more gentlemanly in the books, which is true. And it just seems like he was a little bit more aggressive and assertive in the relationship on the show.
That's fair. Actually, Dan Luhu made
Hmm.
a good point
Hmm.
that neither of us have talked about. Rand studied sword fighting with Lan, so that didn't happen.
Oh yeah.
And that's
And that didn't happen, right?
a
Yeah.
significant.
That's where a lot of the gentlemanly,
yeah,
side came into. I think it was during that time.
Yeah.
he learned a lot from Lan, and granted, some of that happened at the beginning of book 2, but he's separated from Lan right now, and unless that changes,
Mm-hmm.
like he's not
Actually,
gonna
if-
get. I don't
Yeah.
know, the sword
I-
fighting.
You,
That
Joe?
that leads me to a question, right? There's this relationship that Lan and Rand have in the books, almost like his uncle, like Lan's his uncle or something like that.
Yeah.
And we haven't gotten any of that yet. And I mean, that starts off really early on, like you said, with the training. So I'm wondering if they're even going to have that relationship in the show.
I hope so. I
that
really
is
hope
interesting.
I hope so too. Yeah.
There were a lot of male figures that were mentors to Rand, right? Starting off with Tom Maryland and their whole trip after, to Shadar Logoth and out of Shadar Logoth toward Whitebridge. In the books, that was totally removed. The only bit we got was a little bit of Tom and Matt. There was that conversation in the farm with Tom and Rand, but it wasn't really like a mentor thing. He was just telling him a story, trying to, I guess you could say guide him, but
Connect with them.
so
Mhm.
they've removed that fatherly or unclely, however you want to call it, connection between Tom and Rand and Lan and Rand. That was so present in the book. So that's going to be interesting, especially now since he's walked away from Eye of the World on his own, which again didn't happen that way,
Yeah.
the books either.
I don't know. I got mentor vibes from this conversation with Tom and Rand. I feel like Tom. I mean, it was brief. Obviously, we had Rand didn't talk to Tom in episode 3, as far as I can remember. Like it was mainly Tom and Matt. And then in episode 4, they had their little like chat about how Matt was possibly learning to channel and whatever. And he told him the backstory and explained what they needed to do, and so that was, I thought, nice and mentor-y. And then he sacrificed himself for them, so like that was great. That's only one mentor relationship. Although I've heard tell, and we can speculate all we want because that's what this is all about. But I've heard tell that he's going to meet up with Tom on his singular travels, right? And then that
Be amazing.
That could be fun.
It would be great. Yeah, that would be really good. The thing is, up until this point of this image that's on the screen right now, Rand didn't trust Tom.
Right.
Even had that whole conversation with Matt about, why are we following this Gleeman? So it was just weird that they had this bonding right before that. I mean, it was cool. I loved it. It was just odd that was the point where they chose to do that and then remove Tom completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. I don't know what they're going to be doing with Tom's character. It seems odd. I don't know if he's going to play as big a role as he did in the books. I'm starting to think he's not going to. But I mean,
Sad.
Oh, that's so disappointing. I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too. I mean, we know that they have
Yes.
that they cast Barthanes, so that is an opportunity for Tom to be in that part. So I mean, I haven't seen anything else though of if when he's been back for filming or anything like that, or
Yeah,
any other
me
hints
either.
about what they're doing with him.
It would be
I mean,
sad if first they took the mustachio.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
We're not-
Rafe did say right they're going to be exploring Matt's third book storyline, so that I mean, there's an opportunity for Matt to meet up with Tom.
Yeah, that's another option I
Mhm.
was gonna say. Like, if he doesn't
Yeah.
meet up with Rand, then maybe he'll meet up with Matt. Like, either one
Mhm.
would totally work
Mhm.
because he did seem like he was mentoring sort of them both at different times. Matt,
Mhm.
Matt more especially in episode 3. I loved
Yeah.
that relationship. I want it back, like really bad.
Yes,
I
I
love
wanna
I do
that.
see-
too. I want to see more.
I want to
think-
see Matt, Tom, and Julian together.
That would be fun. I don't know if we're gonna get Julian, but that would be super.
Oh my
fun.
God, they have to.
Mm.
They
They should.
have to.
Do
I want to see the
they?
Tara Bonner hat. I want to see the hat.
Julian is one that I could lose without feeling that bad.
What?
I know. Well, if you got to make cuts, you know what I mean. It's a tough thing. Like we're playing fantasy football. You got to make
Gonna
decisions.
make cuts. Cut
Yeah.
Egwene.
That's
She's
what it
gonna.
feels like.
She just cut Egwene. She's gonna be gone soon.
Tavern, you need to stop hating on
Wow.
Egwene real quick.
Wow. Talk about spoilers.
Well, hey, it's full spoilers.
That's my one
That
button
was
I
good.
love to push because I know that Critter's gonna lose her mind. She's about to kill me.
Somebody on Instagram was trashing her today, and I had to just like take a little deep breath and move on because I don't need those people in my life. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Shake it off.
anyways,
Oh.
all right. So yeah, Rand and his male mentors. That is different. It is. You're right. Lan, I would love them to become more aligned. I agree. I saw somebody in the chat mention earlier that it was kind of antagonistic almost between Lan and Rand, where like Lan was aligned with Moraine very deeply, obviously, and Rand was raging against Moraine up until he was like, "Oh yeah, it's me. Let's just go us two. Like I'm just gonna take you to the eye of the world, and we're gonna do this." So I don't know. I don't know
I
if
think it had more to do with the disrespect that he was showing Moraine.
sure. Yeah, I think you're probably
I
right.
think that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were a couple of
Hmm.
times, right, where he had to step in front of Moraine when Rand was getting a little angry. So yeah, so you don't
Oh,
get that.
yeah.
Yeah, you don't get that relationship at all. So I hope they do explore that because it's interesting too. Like Lan kind of teaches Rand things about Aes Sedai that Moraine doesn't. Like how to act in front of them, and
Yeah.
he's really like an important mentor.
He needs
I
all
think.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
And
he
he's
understands.
lost-
It seems like he really understands too Rand's situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also
Mhm.
lost a lot of skill sets that he learned in the books. So the musical instruments, all of the stuff that Tom taught him with the
Yeah.
juggling and all that stuff that gets him through. The sword, the sword fighting, like we said. We actually talked about that in one of the episode shows where Moraine comes in to take the vileness out of Matt, and Rand is dumb enough to draw his sword, and
Right.
Lan manhandles him quite efficiently.
I'm sorry.
Um,
He land handles him.
He learned his-
Yes, he did. He didn't even break a sweat. He's like, he never even drew his sword because he was so
He was not a threat.
worried
Yeah.
about
I mean-
Rand and a sword.
He got Dana handled too in episode 3, right?
He
Yeah, so that's true.
Dana.
So there's a lot of skill sets that are being lost as well.
That's
The
part of the
changes.
reason I'm like, maybe he'll hook up with Tom here because he'll once again be on the road without anybody or any like money, presumably. Like I doubt he brought a coin purse to the Eye of the World, but maybe, maybe. So he's gonna have to figure out how to. I guess he could. Maybe we're gonna get Rand like headed wherever in the way that we kind
Where
of.
is he going?
Well, right. I guess that's what we're going to talk about today. But we haven't had Rand super hard up on his luck like he was in book 1. And so maybe in between now and wherever he's going, we're going to get a little bit of hardship Rand. I don't know.
I mean, they touched on it. They touched on it briefly with the fact that he was kind of trying to keep tabs on his money because they didn't have a whole lot of money. By the time they did get to Tarvalon, they both looked pretty, worn down.
It's true.
So it implied hardship, but it definitely wasn't what we had in the books, which was amazing.
Random Noman in the
Yeah.
chat. There are people that wouldn't mind being land handled. You know what? You're
Land
not
handled.
wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right, so male mentor is different for sure. Egwene, the relationship, I pulled up that photo because there's also the fact that it was just more advanced, which some people were concerned about, but I mean, whatever. Like I thought
It works. It works.
we're elder teenagers, but we don't like we've never even kissed was a little unbelievable personally, and now this feels more true to me.
Yeah, but they went from kissing to real quick.
Yeah, but I mean they're like 20 or whatever in
Yeah,
this,
that's true.
so
The only one that really aged, I guess, was
Egwene,
right?
Well,
Yeah, they aged for like 4 years or something.
the boy started at 19 and she started at like 16, 17, and
Something
so
like
if they're
that, yeah.
all about 20, then that's
Oh, okay. That's
That's
right.
about right.
that's close.
That was
It's
a
really
good
close.
choice.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was fine with that.
Yeah. Anybody else got any differences before we just start wildly speculating?
Well, I mean, we could talk about different
think
things
you're
that he
right.
did in the first season that he didn't do, or in the books.
True.
Yeah, I
true.
mean, like the end of the first season, that whole battle with Balsamon, right? Was different
Definitely.
than in the books, and it wasn't a fight.
Right.
So again, they've removed battle from Rand, which leaves him even more unprepared because he had a battle of the minds, I guess, but there was no physical battle, so he's still not proven.
So do you think they're gonna make him, are they gonna play up is he gonna learn how to use a sword at some point and be a good swordsman, do you think?
I think he's got
Blade
to.
Master?
I think we're gonna
Has to,
get
at some point.
the fight
Pretty
in the
necessary,
sky
I would-
this season. It's a
I think
fantasy. It's a fantasy. I think they're gonna want some sword play that involves the main big protagonist.
I hope so.
I'm trying to think of where he's going to learn that. I mean, unless, like we've kind of discussed, unless Lan and Moraine go after them, because at the end, of course, Moraine realized, oh, we screwed up. This wasn't the last battle, right? She came to the realization that this wasn't the last battle, and I just let the dude go.
Right.
Yeah, he's not that far ahead. Let's catch
Rand's
up.
like, Rand's like, beat Balsamon, go to Disney World, I'm out. And he took off.
Nailed it.
Easy.
So yeah, I mean, where's he going to learn these skills?
I mean, we talked about this, I think, maybe in the Moraine episode,
Yeah,
that
we did.
I think maybe she'll send Lan after him, because if they don't have the bond anymore, or they can't sense the bond anymore, because Moraine, I think Moraine is shielded, but that she masked the bond before she got shielded, and therefore it's just masked indefinitely. There's a chance she'll send him after Rand, knowing that wasn't the last battle, even if she doesn't also follow Rand.
That would be cool. It would be smart for her to go back so she can go to Tarvalon to see if they can unshield her and send Lan. That would be amazing because then you'd have a Lan and Rand trip without the bond.
A buddy road trip comedy. Come on.
Yeah.
You can't go back to Tarvalon though.
It's true.
Oh, she can't. No, that's true. She cannot. Does it count if she's no longer an Aes Sedai because she can't channel?
I mean, I assume her oaths will hold unless she was stilled. So,
That's a good point.
which I don't think she was.
True.
So,
It's true. No, I definitely don't think she was stilled. No way she was stilled.
okay, too much food in the chat says Daniel Henney already said he was training Yosha with the sword. So was that the
That
actors?
gives me a lot of hope.
Or because I mean, I think we saw like montages of Yosha training before the first season, or like in the behind the scenes for the first season. I think.
We also saw Egwene. All the actors were learning sword fighting behind the scenes, so that's kind of a tough one. I guess that was just to get him in shape or whatever, but and then of course for Rand and whatnot and Lan to actually be able to wield swords. But yeah, I thought all of them were training.
Okay, we got some intel from Lee Science as well. Alexander Willem's Twitter talked about being in Prague again and one of him in the stylist's chair. I love that. So I feel like I remember that from some point where it was like, it's Tom, he's back. And I want to say it's like, I could have sworn, and don't quote me, I think I saw people speculating that based on the timing, it's like maybe we won't get him early, but we might get him late or something like that. So I don't know. These things, they all get filmed in like overlapping.
He's a tricky one too because he posts old pictures too from when he was in Prague for the first season. So it's hard to know where if that's an old picture or a new picture. Yeah, he's a clever gleeman.
Does Tom come back in after Whitebreach? Comes back in
the Great Hunt.
Yeah,
right. It's in Caitlin, right?
In Carrion.
Yeah, no, because he couldn't go back to Caitlin. Remember?
Yeah, because that's where Dina. Only with Dina happened.
Yep. That's when Kyrian, yeah.
Rand shows up to Karian, and so the question is like, okay, so this is the poll. I'm not putting it in the chat because I don't know how to do that. But I also professional. No, I'll figure it out someday. But right now I'm busy. I'm too busy for that. I need to get like a mod. I think somebody who like really loves the show to do my polls for me. Because you know what? If you want the job, send me your
I
resume.
told you to give me permission and not do polls. But
oh, okay. Well, you'll
not
be my mod
trustworthy.
then. Okay. No, that's great. We'll make you a mod.
Tavern.
So here's the poll.
Stepping
People in
up.
chat, feel free to weigh in. It's not going to be an actual poll. You guys too. I'm curious. Is Rand going to the Waste,
Ooh.
Tyr, or Falma? Ultimately.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through this and just to give people background.
Okay.
That you guys should have this. So right now they're in the Blight near Faldara. Okay. Closest thing would be the Aiel Waste. Next, Carrianan, then Tyr, and then Falma. Be the furthest, if I'm not mistaken. Where he's at, correct?
Yeah. I'm not that worried about distance though, because we have.
Well, true. They just bounce around a lot, but I mean, what would make the most sense?
So I thought of something in between our last stream and now. I'm gonna throw it out here because I feel like I keep throwing out things so that in the end, once the show premieres, I can find it. Like I will have predicted every different thing happening, and so I can find it and pull it back. But like, here's my new one. Okay, what if Rand goes to the Waste because he read the Prophecies of the Dragon in Tar Valon? We saw the book. He goes to the Aiel Waste because he knows that's part of it. And they end up coming back to try to take the stone with him. So, like, he convinces them to join him before they go take the stone. I mean, Rafe did say that they're going to spend more time, or we're going to see the Waste. You don't think that's right? And we're going to see more Aiel than we think. And so that's what, I don't know, I think that would be cool. And it would, like, in my mind, make more sense for Rand to go seeking the Aiel than the Aiel to come seeking Rand. But you know what? I guess it could work. It works either way, really, narratively.
Well,
okay, Joe, what do you look kind of like you were not into that?
I don't think they're going to go to the Waste. I think it's too early. I think that'll be season 3.
Okay.
So I'm going to choose to believe. So if people who are watching or listening know that there was a survey sent out by a company that apparently was working for Amazon about your feedback on season 1. And then it was a very long survey. We recorded an episode where we went through the survey and answered the survey.
What was our survey?
At the end, no, we didn't it wasn't survey sent to us. Somebody had gotten the survey and shared the link. So it was a dead link, and the fact that you couldn't submit the answers, you can just go through and look at everything.
That's fine. Yeah.
But at the end of it, there was a brief description of what was going to happen in season 2 of the show. And it mentioned that Rand was going to be hiding out in Falma.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, people think that whole thing was fake, but it was a long quiz, and the link from the company is like a media company that does this sort of thing, that does like research and, gets, polls people and does focus groups and things like that. So I think it's 100% legit. And I think that is accurate, that he's going to wind up in Falma, but I don't know if it's going to be like the season starts and it's 2 months later and he's already in Falma and then he journeys from Falma somewhere else. That I can't tell you, but I think I'm going to choose to believe that piece of information, and I think he's going to Falma. I don't know what the hell he's going to do there though.
Didn't that survey say that he was going to be like dealing with like going mad, like he was going to start going mad or whatever? So we might get some tricky Rand, some
kind of follows suit
Rand.
where he leaves the camp. When he leaves the camp after Falma and he starts traveling by himself and he starts dealing with madness. Yeah. So they may switch things around and he's dealing with madness on the way there or whatnot. So that would, I could see that happening for sure.
Yeah, it could be the whole journey. Yeah, it could be just him traveling to Falma. But they also mentioned that there wasn't going to be as much traveling too in the second season. They were going to spend more time in like locations that they go to.
He might just be there by the
I would love if he like woke up in Falma at the beginning and then like Falma was assaulted by the Shan-Chan and he was like, I'm out. Peace, you know what I mean? Like that would make sense, if he was hiding out and then eventually was like, this sucks, so I'm leaving. Or if like Lan shows up and said, we need to get out of here, and then they left. You know, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to point something out for Critter's idea.
Okay.
That I believe the show has already hinted that the Aiel are already looking for the Dragon Reborn, or He Who Comes with the Dawn, which is why that one Aiel was taken and put in the cage at Green Springs.
Yeah, that's why. That's the only reason they'd be across the wall. That makes tons of sense.
Right, that's the reason they'd be across the wall, and the only reason they would have caught him. Right, because we know that those that went looking for He Who Comes with the Dawn weren't fighting; they would step out and talk to people, which was rare for them. So I think that he stepped out to talk. The townspeople freaked out because it was an Aiel, attacked, grabbed him. He didn't fight because he wasn't there to fight. Stuck him in the cage, and then that's when they shot him with arrows because they wouldn't have been able to do it if he would have been loose. And I think he was that Aiel was part of the ones that came across the wall.
I'm sorry.
That search is already underway.
Luke, Ice Jedi. I
think
just
that's
now
great,
saw
Tavern.
this, but I love it. Get in, losers. We're taking the stone.
Yeah.
Oh, now I want that to happen so badly. Just so we can say that. Winespring, what do you think? So we probably, if that's right, he'll be in Falma at some point. Is that endgame? Is he gonna go to the Waste? Is he gonna go to Tyr? Will he be in Carian? Like, what the hell's gonna happen to Rand next season? Thoughts?
I was hoping for the Waste, but that was kind of like ruined with this information I just received. We'll just have to see what happens now. But yes, the Waste. The sooner we can get there, I think the better. I want to see all of that happen now.
I really want to see the Waste, but I don't think that's where he's going.
Yeah, we've got, a lot of people are like, what are you talking? Roger Duran says, Mygan said the Aiel are crossing the spine. Fine. It was wishful thinking, all right? I love the Aiel. They're my favorite society
more.
in the Wheel of Time. Easy. I'm thinking currently, let's take a moment for Kritter shares things that aren't necessarily related to what we're talking about for the 7 billionth time, right? Okay, so I want to get a tattoo, just a small one,
We need
like
a
a little
across the screen.
I have never.
Tattoos.
I don't have a tattoo.
Okay.
I don't have one, right? And so we're talking about tattoos now. And at first I was like, okay, so what do I want? I want like maybe the flame of Tarvalin. I've always wanted like some elements of like a tree, which would be cool because we've got a Vendosora. But then I thought just recently, like literally, whenever I play Dota, which is a World of Warcraft. Okay, it's a Warcraft adjacent whatever game. Kind of a long time ago. My screen name was Farderace Mai. Like I've loved the Aiel forever, and so I was like, why wouldn't I could do like a little spear? Like wouldn't that be cute? Because I want it to be small because I've never had a tattoo before. So that's how much I love the Aiel. Let's circle back. Okay, what we were talking about.
Awesome. Wait, where are we getting the tattoo?
Yeah,
Where
where's
are
the
you
tattoo
getting
going?
the tattoo?
I don't know. I need to do my research. So it's early. It's early days, even though I've been literally like, I'm gonna get one for like 10 years. I just in my head, I'm like, what's it gonna be? Where am I gonna go? You know what I mean?
What research are you doing?
Where to get it? Because there's different tattoo artists, different styles. What do you mean? Like,
Okay, I can see the different people, the different styles. I'm just trying to figure out the whole where you get it. Are you trying to figure out where it hurts less?
Oh no! I think I'm gonna get it probably like right here, which I know will probably hurt a lot.
Oh yeah,
That'll hurt. Yes.
But
that's a great spot.
My pain
You
tolerance
should do that.
is I'm not worried about the pain, honestly. Pain is weakness leaving the body. All right, I played sports in high school.
Yeah, do
And
that.
a true Fardaris Mai would embrace that pain.
Yeah, Joe knows. Thank you.
Speak your truth. Speak your truth.
Okay, Nimhethro says, do a D&D ranger shield, but instead of swords, do spears. I don't hate that at all. Get a tattoo at a tattoo parlor. Where else should she get it? I can make the tip of the spear and have Vendosora leave Tiffany Benson.
Yes.
That's a sick idea. I need to talk.
That
I need to
is.
talk to you guys.
That's
Bring
pretty
more
good.
surveys. That's awesome. Anyways, we're talking about the Aiel. I want to get to the Aiel as soon as possible. Hopefully we meet them. Sounds like they're crossing the spine, so we should meet them. But are they going to take the stone in episode/season 2? No? You don't think?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, because Falme, if they do it right, is going to be a huge thing. Right? Falme is going to be huge. You have to deal with the Horn and the companions, all of this, the Shanshan, the whole
White Cloaks.
Egwin thing.
Right, the White
That's
Cloaks?
a lot of
There.
stuff.
That's like 2 episodes,
White
right?
2 episodes, yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
That's
The
it.
way they're going.
Easy. So hear me out. Okay, so
That's a huge one. If they have 2, I mean, they had 2, trying to think, were there 2 large, I guess there were 2 large battles. We had the Battle of Loghain's
Episode
followers,
4.
and then we had
Winter Night.
Tarmageddon, or not Tarmageddon, but
Winter
Tarmon's
Night.
Gap.
Mhm.
Tarmon's Gap.
Winter Night too.
Yeah.
Winter's Night was a slaughter.
I mean,
Yes,
but it was a
it started
big
off, but
scene.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I
big
think
set piece.
That was a big
It was-
I
deal.
mean,
Yeah.
I can see that being the Shanshan attacking Falma.
The
Would
finale?
be like right at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
We've already
yeah,
seen
yeah.
them come in. So that's the battle at the beginning. They're probably going to have a mid-season kind of thing, and then they're going to have a final thing, if they follow format.
Yeah, I think. Are we ready for another prediction that's probably not going to be
Do
right
it.
from Kritter?
Come on, hit me.
All right, so I think we're gonna get both, and I think there's a chance that Falma will be handled by the ladies, and Tyr will be handled by the gentlemen. In that Rand will be headed to Tyr because he read the prophecies of Dragon. Okay, I'm amending my earlier prediction, but that's
Okay,
why he's
okay,
headed to Tyr.
okay.
Maybe he's in Falma at first, like we read about, and then he decides to leave for whatever reason. Matt shows up in Tyr for whatever reason. He's following the horn, and that's where the horn is going. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
But
Sure,
the girls,
sure.
Wanna talk
Egwene,
about it.
Egwene is going to get captured, presumably, if they're going to follow her main, her first big trauma, basically. And Nynaeve's going to be there. Elaine's going to be there. Why not have them deal, maybe with Perrin? Maybe Perrin's chasing the horn, and Perrin ends up there too. I don't know. And then, so they can still, this is falling apart because Matt has to blow the horn. But I'm thinking that it'll happen, and maybe Rand won't be there for one of them, and they'll have the battle in the sky for Tyr instead of Falma. That's just me. I don't know. But I think the fall of the stone will be at the end of season 2. In season 2.
So
And if you
I
think-
agree with you.
Okay.
A slight.
All right.
I predicted it slightly, a little bit different though. I think I had Matt and Perrin initially. I thought Matt and Perrin would go to wind up at Falma too, but now I'm thinking they're going to be split. So maybe only one of them goes there, and I think Rand, Moraine, and Land will all wind up in Tyr, with Tom probably too. Tom Maryland, I think maybe.
Where's Loyal in all this?
With
He would be with Perrin,
Perrin,
so
yeah.
I guess he would probably go to Falma. It really depends on the whole horn. Like, what are they doing with that?
Are they going to have Matt blow the horn? Big
I
question.
don't know.
I feel like they have
I
to.
don't know. I hope they do.
Is it going to be Matt or is it going to be somebody else? I don't know.
That's a good question, because I mean, you brought up Loyal, and I'm thinking in the books, Loyal spent a lot more time with Perrin.
Yeah.
I want to say almost anybody else. So I could see them just straight off the bat pairing those two together and keeping them together,
Yeah.
and not so much writing about the adventures of Rand,
Yeah.
and more of them forming a bond.
It seems like they're going to be going after the horn in this
Yeah.
next season, right? Because they're still there
Oh, yeah.
in Faldara.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go after the horn, and I'm going to guess they're using. Loyal got stabbed by the dagger, so he should be dead for all
Should
intents and
be.
purposes. But I guess they're gonna maybe make it like they need to recover the dagger to heal Loyal. I don't know.
That
I don't
could
know
be
what's
right.
going
Oh,
on.
interesting. Huh.
Hybrid Habit asked a
that's
good question. I think I have the answer. Is why the only reason the horn would be in Falma, or why would the horn be in Falma? Because Fane has the horn, and my answer is if Rand starts the season in Falma, he could just be behind him, taking too long, and then Rand could eventually leave, and Fane wouldn't. He would still be trailing him, and he would just land in Falma by the time the horn got stolen back. I think that's workable.
Well, Fane knows that he still needs to track Rand, right? Unlike everybody else who thought that Balsamon was the Dark One,
Yeah.
he knows the truth. So he would still be following Rand.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh.
I think you're right. I think it'd be reversed. He'd be going after Rand instead of Rand going after him.
Exactly.
Right. That works. Okay. It's all coming together.
Okay. So it's all coming together for a third change. So you said, Egwene's first traumatic. No, Egwene has suffered her first traumatic experience already with the whole Perrin getting carved up by the White Cloaks.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
So this would be 2.
That was intense for her.
I'm going to tell you right now. I mean, I will say Egwene's character had some pretty horrendous things happen to her throughout the books. Probably the most out of any character. Because Rand suffered some things, but man, Egwene, it was like one thing after another, right?
Yeah, I mean, what's it losing a hand and like staying in a box for a few weeks?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody suffered a little bit. But I just want to say Egwene probably suffered a lot more times. I wouldn't say it was as bad or whatever, but at least more times. So I can see her definitely heading for Falma. But I have a feeling they're going to the White Tower. You're saying that the ladies will be going to Falma and Rand and the guys will be heading for Tyr.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go to the tower first, and you're going to have the whole.
They have to go to the tower.
You're going to get the reveal that Leandrin's Black Aja in probably this season.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They have to go back to the tower. They've already kind of said they were going, so I'm curious also as to the whole how Aiel and Uno and all of these guys are going to be healed. Because again, like you said, Loyal got stabbed by the damn dagger. So
yeah,
it's just a flesh wound, I guess.
No, he stabbed him like several times.
We're gonna meet Varen.
He stabbed him several times.
I think Varen is going to be our Aes Sedai mentor or wannabe mentor for some of them. Maybe Perrin. I think she's going to show up.
What's her healing level?
I mean, who cares? Literally, people care, but like the show is not like
matters
necessarily. I mean, Egwene like ulted and healed Nynaeve when Egwene is trash at healing. So it's kind of like I don't know how much they care about like talents. Or
there's not a lot of emphasis on that.
Or they're not as worried about it.
I have a theory on that.
Oh yeah,
maybe it wasn't Egwene healing Nynaeve and Nynaeve healing herself because they were still linked and she pulled.
You can't heal yourself.
But she pulled. She basically used Egwene to heal herself because Egwene doesn't know how to do that shit.
So you think she like pushed? Sorry, so I've been reading I've read Mistborn, so there's a you saying pull versus push. I'm like, it can't be a pull because that would be her using the power. She'd have to push the power through Egwene. So, that's sorry.
Listen, your theories are crazy. My theories are crazy.
I'm not making fun.
That was a rewrite, though. That was a rewrite, though. Rafe said in the Empire spoiler podcast, Rafe said that initially Egwene was supposed to use her wisdom training to heal Nynaeve naturally, and because of COVID they couldn't do that. I guess it was going to be like a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation or something like that. I don't know. So they had to make it. They had to make it the one power because they had to rewrite that scene.
Yeah. More Shouty on Twitch thinks that Leandrin is being merged with Alviarin and therefore will not be revealed as a Dark Friend just yet.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We think the same thing. We've talked about that. Leandrin would probably and Alviarin would probably be merged together.
And so
I do like the idea though of like killing off the first dark, Black Aja you meet, and then like bringing another one on who's a little bit more devious. Like I like that kind of leveling up, because having like the same one Black Aja person through like the most of the series is probably gonna get old. Although I love Kate Fleetwood, she's doing
we have several. We have a couple that have already been shown. They haven't shown them, but we have a couple that are kind of already there. Is interesting.
Yeah.
So Rand, what about him?
Rand, yeah.
Well, once he gets to the farm, we don't know what the hell he does.
Where is he going?
Is he gonna pull the sword out of the stone? Are we getting the sword in the stone in season 2?
I feel like stone falls. My guess. Okay, he's gonna be like grabbing it, and that'll be it. And that'll be the end of this season.
Grabbing the stone?
Wow.
Yeah, grabbing the stone. No, they're grabbing the stone. So
dramatic.
Like he's gonna pull it out.
Where do we think his first brand comes from?
Oh, you're talking. Oh, the Heron brands, right? Because he gets the first one in the Mirror Worlds, right? In the Great Hunt.
Yeah. So where's that happening?
I don't know. Maybe they don't even do that.
Oh, that would be that. Oh.
No, I mean,
why are you breaking my spirit?
As many people pointed out when they revealed the Heronmark blade, how is he going to get a brand if it's not on the pommel of the sword? Like people were complaining about that.
I mean, it's a valid point.
It is. I mean,
They can make him grab the blade, like the bottom of the blade or something, to reach for it and grab it, and it burns on him.
Once
People
and
don't have an
once
imagination.
shall he be marked. Easy rewrite. Easy rewrite.
never,
one
never
word
not
change.
once, never not once shall he be marked.
No, I mean, you can get it, like, he could get it from something. I don't know. I think I don't hate the idea that Leandrin would end up dying early, even though I do hate it because I love Kate Fleetwood as Leandrin. But the way they talk about, like, not being able to keep actors for a long time if they're going to go away and come back, I think we're going to get some antagonistic Aes Sedai soon. I think we're getting a Lyda in season 2. And so, shoot, we are not talking about Rand right now. Let's talk about Rand. Okay, no, this actually, this is related, kind of, to a woman, at least. Lanfear was a big character in book 2. If we don't get the mirror world, or if we don't get the portal stones, we won't have a clear way. I mean, they could introduce her in any way they could dream up, but a satisfying way. How are we going to find her? Where's she going to come from? Thoughts on that?
If wherever Rand's traveling, he's probably just going to meet her on the way. It doesn't have to be in a mirror world. You could just meet her in the regular world.
It might just be a damsel in distress type situation, and him being him is going to go help, which is kind of like happened in the books, except he found her in the mirror. She was in the mirror world when it happened. It was still a damsel in distress kind of thing.
True.
And that would be a really interesting travel companion on the way to Falma.
It would.
Yes.
That would be
insane.
It would.
Question. Oh, I got a follow-up question because we were talking about this last week. Do you think Rand is going to sleep with Selene in the second season?
I don't think so.
No. Because they've already opened that door.
They have, but I think he's still hung up on Egwene, and like he literally in the last episode was like, "That's not the girl I love." Like that's why he saved the world, is because of how much he loves Egwene, basically. Which I've heard some people complain about, but that's just whatever. Like that's how it went down. He's a good guy, and he good guyed his way out of that.
Good guide his way.
Good guide his way out of it. Like I don't know. Like that's
a great
how
way
it
of
is.
putting it.
So I don't see him unless he does it in like a fit of madness, which I don't see. I don't. Do you think he will, Joe?
I think it's a possibility. I think
might be.
Right? They've already opened the door. Rand's not, the Rand from the books. So I think it's a possibility that she could seduce him. Maybe even use compulsion on him.
That's definitely a possibility.
See, compulsion. I think that if he does sleep with her, that it won't mean anything to him, because like Kritter was saying, he's too in love with Egwene, but he knows that he has to move on, and it might not be as important to him as it is to her, right? Yeah. To Lanfear.
But he's never been out in the world though, so like he only knows Egwene.
It's
going out and then meeting all these other people and then meeting Lanfear, who's the most beautiful person in the world. I think it's
broken-hearted man can change really quick.
I think she can. I think it's a possibility. I think they could throw that in there.
Yeah, they could. I think she might be a little lighter touch when it comes to compelling him, because she is very unhinged, but I think she wants him to legitimately love her.
Agreed.
So
yeah, for sure.
Also in the chat, Rob Christensen, I see you. You think she's up for it? One of my favorite lines from the entire season. Like honestly, good call out. Love it. So good.
Rob, I agree. I hope the Dark One brings back Dana.
We do love Dana.
That would be magical for sure.
Absolutely.
That would be incredible.
Winespring, any ideas on where Lanfear is going to make her entrance and whether she will compel Rand or just try and win him over?
Yeah, I like the idea of them running into each other while he's traveling, like right now. She kind of can maybe offer some wisdom and guidance in some ways, and they're probably going to have a great time together for sure. Yeah. I mean, she's the most beautiful woman in the world. I don't think she's going to need to compel him a lot other than just like naturally.
Okay.
Just with herself.
Okay.
Yeah. That could be fun to watch.
I have to give Book Rand a lot of credit, though. The whole Lanfear storyline, how he managed to stay away from her.
He was scared. He was blushing
yeah.
the whole time.
He was.
But he's different in that way now.
Yeah,
But he held off.
I mean,
he held off.
it's so much more casual now in the
Yeah.
show than it was in the books.
For sure.
and she throws out some cheesy lines at him in the Great
Yes.
Hunt. So I wonder if we're gonna get some of that, like, you must take your glory, go for it. Like all the stuff she says to him is
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
so.
The
It's
flattery.
it's a bit corny.
Ugh.
So I wonder.
Literally.
Keep
Gross.
it.
But when
Gross.
fights like Gaston, no one. No, yeah, she tries to plump him up. Yep.
Rational Nerd in the chat actually has a really good point. He loves Egwene, but now that he's a Chandler, he never wants to get close enough to her to hurt her. So, like, a sad, angry, I'm never going to see Egwene again Rand might just bang it out with somebody else, you know? Like, that's a possibility.
Got a lot on his mind. You know?
Winespring, what? Like, is that not how you would have put it?
It's just not. It's perfect. Perfectly well said. Love it. Bang it out.
Bang it out.
Will she have different actresses? Or are you talking about, like, whenever this is a full spoiler stream? So, Rational Nerd, are you asking when she comes back
Ooh.
from the doorway or before that?
Celine?
Yeah, you've got Celine, you've got Lanfear, you've got who is she in the waist? What's the woman's name?
Oh, yeah.
The heavy set woman who
Yeah.
in
I
the
don't
wagon.
remember.
Yeah, so that's
Oh
what.
yes.
Will they have different actresses portraying her different character? Her different personalities, I guess, however you want to put it.
Well, didn't she de-age herself for Celine? So it was like a mask of mirrors, but it was a really light touch. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's
It seems right.
Sylvie, right?
Mhm.
Isn't she Sylvie in that one scene? The old woman in Teller and Riyadh in the stone.
Oh my
Sylvie.
gosh. That sounds wow. Celine.
Yeah, there's a lot of it's Kylie.
Kaylee. I don't
Yeah,
remember,
something like that.
but you're right.
There we
That's
go.
who she is, yeah, and then Sindane, which is
Yes.
that's
Sindane is definitely going to be different. 100% different. They said it. Like they all got all the other Forsaken were like who is that? Like who is she? So I don't think it was clear.
So I have a Rand question.
Let's
Are
go.
we gonna get Rand? Who's Rand gonna fight at the end of the season? Is he gonna kill one of the Forsaken? Is it gonna be
Yeah.
who? Is it gonna be Bilal, Shamael, Agenor,
I
Balthamel?
think Bilal and Agenor are not.
They're not going to be in it. I
Gonna
think
be in it.
I think they trumped down the number of Forsaken for sure.
I think it's a Shamael because we need him to get reborn as Moradin. I don't know, although he did give off Moradin vibes even in the first season,
Yeah.
in my opinion, because he wasn't super unhinged.
Yes.
But
He was-
like he was pretty suave.
Who is it that he takes out in Tyr?
He takes out Shamael.
That's what I thought, right?
Well, he doesn't
And
even kill him, but
In Falma.
No, but yeah,
oh yeah, I'm sorry. He kills him in Tyr. Yeah, he finally kills him once and for all in Tyr, right?
oh, and
Well-
was it Raven in Camelin?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Lorraine
that's not going to
takes out-
happen.
Lorraine
Samael
takes
was
out
in
Bilal
Shadow
too.
Logoth, and that'll be a long time too, because he was
Yeah.
the Ilion guy.
What's the other guy? The short bearded guy with the scar.
Samuel.
That's Samael. Yeah.
Well,
he's
yeah,
the
that's
short one.
that's Ilion.
Who are
So
we talking
that's
about?
that's a time off for that. So yeah, I think they've definitely trunked down the number of Forsaken, the show,
Yeah,
and I think the statues that we saw is the totality of them.
I think that's probably right.
Okay.
So-
You said there was 8. Is that
I think
right?
there's like
8 or 9. I can't remember.
something like that.
Yeah,
it's definitely
I
not
I
13.
feel like it was 9. That's just like ringing true to me, but my memory is not the best, so could not be. We don't know. But yeah, my guess is Shamael because he was the main antagonist, if I'm remembering, in the first like 3 books.
Yeah.
Uh,
3 times he fights him.
literally, yeah,
I'm glad they're not going to do that. So.
yeah. We're not gonna have multiple sword fights. It's gonna be. I want the sword fight in the sky though. Do you think that? Did you see the picture that Yosha posted like yesterday on his stories or whatever? It's like nighttime. You can't see anything, and some people were like, "Oh, is that there? Are they shooting in the sky? Because there's a giant crane." And I don't know.
It's just lights.
Right, that's what I was
looks like
thinking. It's overhead lighting. What do you mean?
It looked like some sort of rundown village or something like that.
It did,
there.
which would work for Rand traveling around.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I think it'll be a Shamael. I don't know if we're gonna get another Forsaken that we know about this season, because we're getting, like the Shan Chan are coming, so we might get. Oh, I can never remember her name. Cimaraj.
Yeah, Semirage.
Is that who puts the male Adam?
Yeah,
Rand?
she's the
That's right.
voice, I think, of Tuon initially.
Truth
Truth
or
speaker.
Truthsayer?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right. That one.
Or something like that. Yeah. Anath is her Shan name.
Yeah.
That's right.
She doesn't come until much later, though, right?
Right.
Not...
Yeah, it's well after they cleanse the.
Well, right.
Turns
I guess
the
Tuon doesn't
side in.
roll in right away either. It's that High Lord or whatever who Rand ends up fighting with the sword fighting and then earning his Heron Mark blade.
Yeah, but do you think they're going to stick with that, or do you think they're gonna start, like, removing characters from the Shan Chan as well, right? Because they can't. There's a ton of characters for them as well.
Yeah.
So maybe Sarath, that guy is out, and Sarath is in charge from the get go. You know what I mean?
Could be. It could be.
Yeah.
Somebody earlier on in the chat said, do we think the Tuon reveal is going to be at the end of the season? And I assume by that you meant Matt going through the doorway and finding out about Tuon? Or like the Daughter of the Nine Moons, not Tuon, obviously, but like, is Matt? Well, shoot, we need to save this for the Matt episode, so never mind. Will Rand go through the doorway? Because he did too.
That's right.
It was in Tyr.
Will there be a doorway at all?
Well,
That could be what he does in Falma. Maybe the doorway, he finds it in Falma, and that's part of his storyline for this.
They are moving shit around.
I don't
They are
hate
moving
that.
stuff around for sure.
I don't hate that.
I think. Do you think they're putting the door that early, like in season 2, or maybe toward the end of season 2?
Well, they're giving
I
people
don't know.
season 2 or book 2 and book 3 plots. Wait, no,
And
I guess
Rand-
that wasn't in book 3. That was more in book 4, right?
Yeah, Rand doesn't do much in book 3, and in book 2 he's chasing for the horn. So if he's not going to be chasing for the horn, what is Rand going to be doing this season?
Yeah, they're.
Celine.
Wow, that was good. You get points for that. That was so good.
Oh, great. Okay.
Oh, I mean, it did say that this first season they left some characters that didn't have a whole lot to do, right? Like Perrin. And so they might shift it up and have the other characters progress in season 2. And get their storylines a little straight, because I know a lot of people that are still confused about Perrin.
Yeah.
And what the deal is with the weird things that he's doing and how they're putting it out there, and so this could be a season in which other characters take the front or take the main stage.
Well, Rand especially, right? Because he took the back seat in season 1 too, until the final episodes.
So and we can probably get a little bit more Loyal, who got basically pressured to the back corner.
Well, if we get more Perrin, I think we'll get more Loyal.
I would think so too. I mean, because I always thought that whole scene in Faldara when they went into the throne room to see Agomar, and you have all these people sitting there, and Loyal standing in the back. I'm like, he's an Ogier. They're welcome everywhere. Why is he in the back?
Yeah.
No, you lead with the big guy. But yeah, it was just weird.
It's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat mentioned that the doorway would have to be somewhere that both Rand and Matt will be. So either it follows that Matt and Rand both end up in Tyr, and that's where the doorway is, or Rand does it when he's in Falma before he leaves, and Matt shows up in Falma so that he can blow the horn. I don't know. There's so many different,
Does Rand meet up with Matt on his way to wherever he's going?
Oh, if we get
I
more
don't know.
Rand and Matt travels, I would be here for that.
That'd be awesome. We saw Matt. Last we saw Matt was in Tarvalon. Coming back to Tarvalon. So, not really sure what's happening there.
Moraine's sicking the Red Aja on him though too. So.
Right, they're gonna catch him.
Yeah.
Pretty sure she is.
But that's, again, we talked about this. You didn't know about the show, but we discussed that she did that before she knew that it was Rand. She sicked the Red Aja on Matt, thinking that he's still possibly the Dragon Reborn.
Why would she
So-
sick the Red Aja on the Dragon Reborn, though? I would think that's the last thing she'd want to do.
Agreed.
Because I mean, or keep him, on his toes, or have somebody on him than not.
I guess also like
Oh, I know.
she
wait,
thought Matt would be a dark dragon, and so
exactly.
better he gets captured than goes and does whatever the hell
Yeah.
he wants and
Oh, that's
sides
right.
with the dark.
There it is.
The dark
I
one.
didn't think
Good
he was
job.
dark. That's totally correct. So yeah, I mean, what? I know this isn't a Matt show, so we have to wait for the Matt show. But I'm still flummoxed as to what the hell he's going to do and how he's going to come back. So
Tune in next time on the Wheel and Chill show for the Matt episode.
now we're going Matt next.
So,
No, I don't know. Jesus, I'm just trying to like transition back to the Rand conversation because that's what we're talking about.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, unless they get back together. So how would Rand get to Falma? Let's say, what route do you think he would take, considering where he's at the end of season 1?
How would Rand get there? Fast travel? No, I don't know.
Okay.
it would take him a long time to get there, right? Because didn't they say it when they were over in Winespring or somewhere in Shadowlogoth in that area, right? Didn't they say it was going to take him like a month to get to Tarvalon?
It was a month.
So it would take him
So-
months to get to Falma if
Portal
they don't mess up the
Stone,
map too
baby.
much.
I'm telling you. I'm
Or
telling
the
you.
That's
ways?
if he-
Does he go back to the ways?
Oof, that would be a mistake.
Yeah.
That's true.
One, he
It would
doesn't know
be.
how to read the goddamn stones,
That's
and he
a-
doesn't
yeah.
have Perrin there to see them for him.
So that's got to be where Celine
Hmm.
comes in, right? Maybe he meets
you
Celine in the
go.
real world, and she takes him through the portal stones.
That would be sick.
I
Whoa,
wouldn't
that
hate
would
that.
be.
I like that. I like that theory a lot. Because if he was on foot, you have to think about the straight line. From, point A to point B. What route would he take? And anything other than a straight line would take him so long to get there.
Yeah, he'd
Unless
have
he
to
catches
go
a
through all
boat.
the borderlands, right, and then cross the Almouth Plain to get down to Falma.
Unless he gets on a boat and
I'm not a map person, so I'm like, totally. He'll get
For
there.
sure.
Okay, so
It's
basically,
definitely going to take a month.
I mean,
basically he's in the northeast
Okay.
corner of the map, and Falma is in the northwest corner of the west northwest corner of the map.
Midwest, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's a long ass travel.
It is a long travel. It's going to take him months. So unless they do just like
Mhm.
this season starts a couple of months later.
Yeah,
Be a
they could do
time
that
jump.
definitely. And
Although I
they did it in
don't
the
know,
first season.
But that would be weird if Perrin and Loya, Perrin didn't go. If they're going to go after the Horn, they would go right away. That's the only thing that's weird to me.
Maybe we don't
would, but
see
they could
Rand
also-
in episode 1. Oh my gosh, can you imagine? People would be so mad if it's like he didn't get like much in season 1 and then he wasn't even in episode 1 and then the next episode was like 2 months later. Or still, I guess we want the chase for the Horn though, like the whole thing. So I don't know if
But-
we're gonna get a time
Mhm.
jump.
They could
Yeah.
start the chase underway. Just like they could start, like they've been traveling months after
It's true.
what's his face, and they're already haggard, they're tired, they're worn, they're still chasing this guy down. Just like they could start Rand off, months down the road. As long as both groups are in the same time, you don't have Rand 4 months ahead and then Perrin and these guys starting right from the end. That would be totally
So and the
screwed up.
girls just show up in Tarvalon, like
Yeah.
we don't get any travel.
Yeah.
Like literally, it's like
They're already-
the girls are in Tarvalon, Perrin is already halfway to the Horn, and Rand is in Falma. Easy, like you're welcome. No
Done.
travel time.
Dwayne, Nynaeve, and Elaine are already accepted.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess
That'd be
we're
Jump to it.
we haven't done a Nynaeve episode yet, but it says like I was going to speculate about that, but no, we
Don't
won't.
do it.
I guess I'm just now thinking of this completely unrelated. Let's call this intermission, shall we?
That's real.
Some of us are helping put on WatCon, and 3 of us, Joe, me, and Winespring, are going to JordanCon. So if you aren't signed up for either of those,
Yay.
think about it because it's gonna be #lit. I'm really
Yes.
excited. I'm working on my Brigitte cosplay for both. I might be do a
Yay.
Leandrin one too. We'll see.
Yes.
Yeah,
Woohoo.
and I think I'm on a panel or 2 at
I bought a-
JordanCon. So
I bought a panel as well. I got
Very
my email
exciting.
the other day.
me too.
Yeah.
Do you know which panels yet? Are you allowed to talk about
Yeah, I'm gonna be on. It's a season 2 speculation panel, the one I'm gonna be on.
Nice. So I'm on
Nice.
the why it makes sense that the show has to make changes and why that's okay panel, which I feel like is exactly what I've been doing on like all of my
wow.
Oh,
streams,
yes.
so it's perfect.
It's a great panel.
Oh,
too.
yes.
And then
Yeah.
also I think a
Uh-huh.
deep dive into episodes 1 and 2. I assume there's going to be panels about
Okay.
collections of episodes, and I'm on episodes 1
Yeah,
and 2.
because I know Jen and Tom, my co-hosts, are on some of the. I think one of them's on 5 and 6, and one's doing 7 and 8.
Nice.
so
So there you go.
they're doing a panel for every 2 episodes,
Oh,
which is gonna be
man.
really cool. I wonder if we can just sit
It's gonna
there
be
for
so
like
fun.
4 hours and just
All
sit
day?
through all 4 panels of the
Maybe.
TV show.
That'd be cool.
Maybe. So yeah, think about JordanCon, think about WattCon. I will be at both, and I'm super
Mhm.
pumped about it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very excited for you.
thanks.
And 1 and 2 are, episodes 1 and 2 are probably the best ones to talk about because they're the closest related to the show. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, to the books.
Okay, I was like, what?
They're the ones that, well, they're the most mostly aligned to the books. Even though there are some changes after episode 2, everything goes to everywhere.
It goes everywhere. It goes everywhere.
And everywhere. They go to different places. They meet different people. Whatever.
So
It's
yeah,
a free for all.
we're all pumped about that. But we're talking about Rand tonight. So once I say that, go get your tickets, come back, and somebody. So Varen, yeah, Hybrid Havoc reminded me. Varen, I'm wondering if her story is going to relate to Rand's story in any way, or if she's going to hook up with the boys who are chasing the horn and hook up in like a just meet them and be a companion of theirs, or what? Because I feel like she's cast I can't remember the actress, but she's just so spot on as Varen that there's no way it's not her. And so is she gonna where's she going? Is she gonna be involved with Rand?
This is a tough one. How does she fit in because she's everywhere?
Literally.
Yeah.
She's there. She knows Rand is the dragon when that whole meeting happens between Swan and Moraine. That's obviously not going to happen. She's at the tower, right? She gives Egwene then the stone ring to Angreal, which is how do they fit her in? I guess she's going to be at the tower. That's my guess, is they're going to meet her when they go to the tower.
Okay.
I think Kritter was correct in that she shows up at Faldara right at the start of where the season ended, and then takes them back to the tower. She learns that Rand is the Dragon Reborn there because he's the only one that's not there of the group, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Well, Matt's
Moraine
not
would
there.
probably and Moraine would come back. I think Moraine goes back to Faldara and brings that news with her because they're all going to be talking about it. And Varen's going to show up. So I think she shows up in Faldara.
all right, Winespring, what do you think?
I don't know, but I like the Faldara there. I like that idea that you just walked us through their tavern.
Okay.
Well, as Critters, Critter brought that up earlier. So
I did.
They could do the
I'm just
whole.
agreeing.
Yeah, they could do the whole procession at Faldara where the Amerlin does show up. Because, right, Moraine's not supposed to go back to the White Tower. That doesn't mean the White Tower can't come to her.
You're not wrong.
But how would they get there that fast, though? Because Moraine and them took the waves
true.
and
That's
got there
true.
super fast. How would that procession get there that fast?
If
So
we're
that would
fast
be
forwarding a
interesting.
month later,
That would be different.
There they are.
Jump? I don't know.
Yeah, if we're doing a time jump,
Arrived.
then yes, for sure.
It's only a couple of weeks later, I think, in the books, right, when the Great Hunt starts. I think they've only
think
been there a
that's
couple
right.
of weeks.
Yeah,
But the horn hasn't been taken yet, so that like adds that sense of urgency where like something has to happen right away from where season 1 ended.
Yeah.
now they do use the power to put air into the sails to move faster down the river and actually to get going.
Mhm.
Is it the sails or do they move the water? I can't remember what they do, but they haul ass down the river.
They do haul ass.
So they possibly could do that. I don't know.
Random Noman mentioned in the comments she could take the place of Vandine and Adelius also. So Moraine could
True.
go to her and like maybe confide in her. That feels very un-Moraine like. But
Yeah.
kind of mildly explain the
Yeah.
situation. Or Varen could deduce what's happening, which she did before. Like she literally figured it out, I think, in the Great Hunt, right? With just context
Yeah.
clues.
Yeah.
And so that could be it. Like Moraine might go find Varen and like do some kind of like research montage with her, and then Varen, knowing that Rand is the dragon, might peace out and try to go find him herself, because that's very Varen like also.
Very, very like.
And given the situation with Moraine at present, she might be desperate enough to go to somebody like Varen,
Right.
Because she's been shielded. So that's a possibility.
So
Yeah.
so Moraine could go to Adelius and Vandine instead to learn how to do Balefire, to find out how to get unshielded.
I would love to see those two.
Yes.
I would love to see those two. I'm just worried, given what the people that they've cut and the people that they've moved around in the first season, like Master Gil having like 2 words, yeah, that room, or whatever the hell he said, in Tar Valon, that was depressing. And given that they didn't even focus on the character, we're probably never going to see him again.
Master Gil? Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
never coming
Probably
back.
But they could do that
so-
with Adelius and Vandine. They could just be in the one, in one episode
Could.
of the show, and that's it. They're gone for the entire show. They could.
That would be sad because I love their whole storyline.
Yeah,
I
do
really
too,
did
but
like. Yeah,
It could be.
yeah.
It could be
I mean, yeah. There's just too many.
I mean,
too
their
many
whole
characters.
storyline was, if you believe in the slog, part of the slog, like, it was she got murdered, who did the thing, oh my gosh, like, murder mystery, she's depressed, she's wearing her sister's clothes, she's losing weight. It's not the funnest plot in the books.
Not, but it's interesting that every once in a while you get a little tidbit of information like that. Oh, she's been wearing her sister's clothes. And you're like, man, that's got it. I mean, every time that they mention something about her after her sister's death, it just pulled at my heart a little
It
bit.
was sad, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the rest of it, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they could cut them 100% too.
Yeah, they
And
could.
I like
could.
putting
Mhm.
Varen in there though as that kind of role.
Fill that role.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
like that idea.
Because she's not getting cut. They know, I mean, they know that we would riot if Varen got cut.
And maybe Moraine does then confide in her because she's in such a vulnerable state with not being able to channel, that she does. They can make them old friends again, like they did kind of with her, and they kind of built up the relationship with her and Alana.
Yeah.
They-
Okay, well, now that we've
That'd be
established,
interesting.
probably not going to be with Rand, and if she is, it'll be after she's with Moraine, if that theory stands. Which could be
One
the
of these
case.
has got to be
I mean,
right.
she could.
Well, I mean,
okay.
right?
So given how
We'll
how
see.
given Varen's style of taking off after things, what if she starts off with Perrin and Loyal on the hunt, chasing down the Horn, and then along that path she catches wind that Rand has been spotted, or she gets some kind of information, and she takes off and leaves them, goes after him.
Just redirects.
And
Mhm.
redirect, because that's something that she would totally do without even saying anything to anybody. She'd just be like, "See ya."
The old Irish goodbye from Varen, a classic, a true classic.
Pretty much.
True. All possibilities, and that just leaves Rand with Lanfear, basically, and maybe Lan, if we
Lan
get
and
lucky.
Lanfear.
Yeah.
Otherwise, lonely.
That would be confusing, right? He's with Lan and Lanfear for most of the season. People would be like, come on.
Rand, Lan, and Lanfear, the Rand Lanfear
Perfect.
duo trio.
Oh my god.
Um,
Naja
Well
Land.
said, Critter.
Sorry, it doesn't even make sense because Lanfear, like it would be a Lan Ranfear. That's it, a Lan Ranfear. That's their ship name. If
Lan
if
Ranfear.
people are gonna start
Crazy.
shipping them by the end.
So what do you think is going to happen for Rand, right, between point A and point B? You think he's going to accidentally start teaching himself to channel? Or are we going to get any of the, oh yeah, he came through here because like 50 people got married yesterday?
Yeah. Yes.
Is he going to slaughter a group of dark friends and a gray man?
No.
I mean, what kind of adventures do you think he's going to have on this trip to Falma or wherever he ends up?
I think they are going to keep the scene where he winds up killing the I don't know if it's going to be in the season where he winds up killing those dark friends, because I think that's such like a powerful scene, and
Yeah.
it's like it's weird. It's like I remember in the book I barely remember it when it happens, but if you think about it, it's pretty important, like powerful scene speaking to Rand's state of mind. And if they're one, and that's a good, like, it's a good tangible visual for TV. that they could use
Yeah.
to kind of show the state that he's in and what's going on with Rand and how precarious the situation is.
That survey
could
did
definitely-
say he was going to be struggling with mental health or like madness, and so that could be an
Yeah.
easy way to be like, okay, this guy's pretty unstable, you know?
Yeah.
We're gonna see.
Yeah, that could display it pretty well.
Yeah, no shit. Do you think we're gonna see Darkhounds? Or is it
Oh,
Darkhounds?
yeah. I hope. Well, I guess I hope so. I hope
Yeah,
so.
that'd be amazing because he has that whole thing with them too.
I think they're going to need Darkhounds to counterbalance the wolves.
In the series,
Yeah.
yeah, I
In
agree.
the series, just in general, yeah, I think they're going to put them in there. Plus, they're so cool.
Yeah,
They've
They
got
are
like
super cool.
acid blood, right? Like an acidy blood of saliva. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
then
they
that-
only
Oh,
leave
that's right.
footprints. They leave prints on stone.
Yeah, and there's that
Which is
whole
amazing.
scene right is it in the waste where the Darkhounds attack and Matt should have been dead, right? But Rand uses balefire on the
Yeah.
Darkhounds.
Is it
You're
in the,
right.
Is it in the waste?
Yes.
It is, yeah.
think
They
they're in
chew
the
through
waist,
the door, or the. It was when Asmodean was with him. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, I think somebody in the chat said it earlier, and I think this is true. Like a balefire training montage. Like Rand has to be introduced to his ability to use balefire sometime, and I feel like Darkhounds are the perfect way for that to happen. I don't know.
Is that right? Before Matt met Melindra, is that why he met her? Because after that fight.
I think he
He was
he was with her.
He
I
was
think
with
when that
her.
happened.
I think
Was
so
it?
too.
I'm trying to remember because I know that there was a fight, which is what kind of impressed the maidens, and that's how she kind of basically abducted him into her tent.
Yeah, I mean they were fighting a lot in the waste. They had that drag car attack also, which I
Yeah.
would love to have. I hope we get that too, or just
Was
drag
it the
cars
canyon,
generally.
right?
There was that, yeah, in the canyon. And then there was they were stationed in Ruidion, and somebody in the Luke I Should Die
Yes.
thinks that's where. Because why else would he have a door? Because I'm remembering like the Hound chewed through the door, right?
It was a door, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that sounds right to me that they would be in Ruidion. The show. The show. Gosh, okay, so we're coming up on an hour and a half. I feel like we've covered a lot. Somebody also mentioned in the chat that Rand will get to Falma via Carian so that he can do the whole, like, Selene would still be like a Carian noblewoman and all that ruse.
Oh, yes.
A
The
possibility.
Parthanis story, yeah,
Sure,
that's one of my
sure.
favorite parts of the book when they go to Cairhien.
Uh-huh.
When he's getting the invitations to the lords, and
Yes.
he's throwing them in the fire, and that's great. I love that.
Playing the game.
That was pretty
Right.
awesome. Yeah, playing the game without playing the game. That's the best.
He's just so good at it.
That
Oh,
could be very fun to watch.
it could. I
Hate the
agree.
player.
Yes.
Player hate the game.
Yeah, no, I think that you know what, you're right. Like, I hope we see some Rand and Carian, or like the fact that we lost Camelin in book 1 makes me like skeptical about getting like Carian as like a place that he's just gonna touch and then leave. But maybe that kind of vibe could be the same in another city. Maybe he's like that, but it's in Tyr. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like the whole thing with Bree Spring or Breen. It's Bree Spring, right? Or Breen's.
Breen.
Anyways, whatever. Breen, that's what I thought. So it was the same thing. It was supposed to be Whitebridge, right?
Yeah.
But they just made it a smaller town, right? For budget constraints, I would assume, rather than having to create this larger city.
Yeah.
They just made it a small little town. So
Yeah.
it would suck if they did that with Camelin or Carian. It would
It's supposed
totally
to be.
suck.
I guess it's really substituting Four Kings, and they made the tavern Four Kings Tavern
Yeah,
because
they
that's
did.
where he encounters.
Mhm.
And then it's like different encounter, right? Because
Well,
in Four Kings he encounters who's that guy with the Samuel Hake? No, that's the innkeeper.
It's not Pater.
No, Pater's
No.
later. Pater's I think in Market Sharon. I can't remember now.
That sounds right, actually.
I can't remember the guy's name. And if Dana Lou's still in chat, she knows all these names. What's out there?
And I get what you're saying. Yeah, so Breen Springs was supposed to be Four Kings, but
Yeah.
if you mix that with the event at the farmhouse where
Yes.
Tom, basically does the
Replaced Whitebridge, yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
Whitebridge.
yeah.
I kind of threw those things together because
Yeah.
that should have happened before the other should have happened. If I'm
Goad.
not mistaken.
Sorry.
Howell Goad, yes.
Thank you. Sorry, Tavern. Keep going. That was bothering me.
What I was saying, they kind of mix match stuff, right? They get to White Bridge, the thing happens, then later on they get to Four Kings, so they kind of flipped it around a little bit, but it's all part of the same chunk of book to me.
Right.
As they travel.
I don't see them eliminating Carian just because we know. I think that's Moraine's hometown. I think we know that. And like that's how she's so good at navigating the waters of the politics and all that stuff. And so what? I mean, just like I didn't want to lose Caitlin in season 1. I would love to have Carian. It would be a loss if we didn't have it in season 2. But there are ways to introduce the elements that we love from it into other locations without an issue.
There's so much Carian though later on, right?
There is. Yeah, there is.
They've been skipping things. Skipping things to put in things like I said before, and when we were talking about episode 1 or episode 2, where Nynaeve doesn't catch up until the after Shadar Logoth. Bye. Who's leaving?
Yeah, bye. And welcome Jessica Sadai. And bye Farstrider. Okay.
Bye Farstrider. But yeah, so Nynaeve doesn't show up in Baerlon. She doesn't show up in the show until after Shadar Logoth, which is where she shows up after Shadar Logoth, and they all leave, and she catches up to Lan and Moraine. So they skip that whole thing of hers and just put her back in the second, meeting. I can see them doing that with some of the bigger cities where they spend more time in Carrion later, so that's when they're going to introduce Carrion is later on in the show.
It could be. It really could. Hoping they get a bigger budget. So a little bit of that Lord of the Rings money,
Oh, yeah, what the hell is up with that?
Please.
Please. Give it to us. Please.
Please, we need it.
Oh, there was one more thing too I wanted to ask about Rand. To get everyone's opinion here on that, right? So, since bring it back to Rand, but he's got this character trait in the books, right, where he's like does not want to hurt women at all. And it's like such a huge part of his character in the books. Like we haven't seen any of that yet. Do you think they're going to introduce that, or is that something you think they just we'll just forget about that part?
Well, actually, and that's what I was kind of getting at earlier. He kind of gets in Egwene's face a little bit, but he does draw his sword on Moraine when she goes to pull the what do we call it?
Dagger?
No, we were calling the sickness something.
Oh, land handled when he gets land handled.
The Mat Shadar dagger.
When Moraine was trying to pull Mat Shadar mouth out of Mat, he did draw his sword on Moraine. So
he did. You're right.
I think that's one of his characteristics on the show.
Well, drawing a sword and using the sword are two different things.
True, you're right. But he would I don't think he would have done that in the books. He wouldn't even drawn his sword in the books, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a chance we'll still get it. I think the thing is like he offs a woman, right? That when in his like in the clearing, those like merchants or whatever, right? There's a woman in that group.
That's the Dark Friend, group.
So there's a question of like, when did Rand develop that in the books? Because I feel like he was always protective of women, but like he killed a woman in book 2, no prob, Bob. I mean, it was like obviously he probably felt bad about it. I don't fully remember, but we started getting the list later.
Yeah, I think he started weighing down on him every time he killed one. It just weighed down more and more, and then he just got to the point where he wasn't going to kill any women.
Maybe.
And it causes causes a lot of problems.
Yeah,
a lot of people die because he doesn't kill some women.
Yes.
And then he's finally like, okay, fine, she can come. Let's go to Shadar Logoth. Oh my God, we left her.
Oh yeah, is she the first one on the list? Is she the Leah or something?
Was she the first one on the list? I don't know, but that was a turning point.
Well, actually, no. The first one on the list is
Moraine, right?
Is Ileana.
Oh God!
Because she's on the list. She winds up on the list.
She does wind up on the list. That's true.
Luz sneaks that in there.
Yeah, Jessica Sadai's right. I think it came to the forefront whenever the maidens started carrying his honor, and so all of his
Yes.
bodyguards were women, and he started trying to like dip without them knowing, so that he
Yep.
wouldn't put them in harm's way.
That's
And-
right. Yes.
Wait a minute, didn't that? And that I want to say that started when they came out of the waste, and the Shido were attacking Carrienin, and Samuel chucked the tower that he was standing on and killed all those maidens.
Oh, that was, I remember that being a big thing that impacted him.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that impacted him
Yes.
a lot, and that's when he started trying to ditch them, and they started getting pissed.
Yeah.
Mm.
Could be.
He tried because he wanted to keep them back. That's what it was. I think he wanted to keep them back from the fighting, so he had them stationed around his tower, and they got killed anyways.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
A lot of tragedy.
So yeah, I think we'll still have it because I think it's an interesting part of his character. I do think it will upset some people because of the.
Yes.
I mean, it's annoying for me, honestly. Reading the books, I'm just like, these women
It's
are
annoying
literally
for me,
laying down
too.
their lives for you happily. That's like the thing that they want to do more than anything in life, and you're feeling bad about it as if it's your decision and not theirs. Like I hated that. Sorry. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
Yes.
But I mean, that's the reason why the maidens hate that. I mean, they
Yeah.
bring it. It's not like
Mhm.
I know it's not like anyone's. I feel like they did it. He did it good in the book because, right? Rand's got this mentality, and you know that's the way I guess he's grown up. And then you know the maidens start saying, "Well, wait, we're people. We get to make our own decisions. We're the ones who decide where we go, not you.
Yeah.
If we want to protect you and risk our lives, that's our decision, not yours."
preach.
you want to
So-
wait till you get back from a trip and beat your ass
Yeah.
in your own bedroom? We can do
And
that
I'm
too.
just, you know, when I'm reading the books, I'm just yelling, "Get over it, Rand!
Same.
Get over it!"
Same.
Yeah, that was a point of contention reading the books for sure.
Yeah.
Having served in the military with women and knowing how fierce they are in battles than everybody else, it bugged me because I was deployed at the time I was reading the books, and I was like, this dude needs to chill. He just needs to let them do their thing. It was annoying. Yeah.
It was annoying. So maybe not because they don't want to annoy the audience, but maybe yes because they want to annoy the audience. They want people to like be emotionally attached and like invested in his growth, and that I think is a huge part of his growth. Like, no, these are
Yeah.
people making their own decisions. Like, I'm gonna have to let
yeah.
them be their own people.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
I would
I'll
like
be
to see
goddamn if
it,
they don't
even though it'll be
they
annoying.
don't put. I'm gonna say I'll be damned if they don't put Dumais Wells in this show. If they don't, I'm gonna be.
Oh, that's one of Rafe's favorite scenes. He's talked about
Yeah,
doing that
so
scene
it's
from the
definitely gonna
beginning.
be there.
Listen,
Rick
look
knows
at
he
look
will.
at the hairstyle that he gave Loyal. All right.
Oh my god!
Uh,
Wow, that like yeah because
Every
he's
show, every show.
no
I'm gonna bring that up every.
he said he's been looking forward to Dumais Wells like from the beginning. So
Yeah.
there's no way.
It's gonna be.
We're
Oh,
definitely getting it.
I hope that's a full episode too, or maybe I'd be good with a 2-episode Dumais Wells.
it's not a long battle though in the books.
super quick.
No,
It's
no,
pretty
but I
quick.
mean, no, yeah, it is pretty quick. But I would love to see a prolonged like battle, or either that, or it's got to be super gruesome and super quick, like in the books.
That's exactly what it'll be.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Yeah.
blow out of the box, murdering everyone in his immediate vicinity, like strike out and shield or still some of the Aes Sedai, make them kneel to him. Ashaman will show
my
up
goodness.
and just flipping blast everyone, and that'll be it.
You're just gonna hear all you hear is
That'll be the
my gosh.
that'll be the end of the Shido if they want to do it right. Just kill the Shido at that battle and let them be done with it for the rest of the
Yeah.
series.
Please,
Yeah.
because the
please.
Shido.
Man,
were
non-readers
way
are gonna
long.
freak out. for
I'm
this,
telling you, right?
yeah.
And my slog is Winter's Heart, and it's all the Shido and Fael. That whole thing needs that. Yeah, that can go away.
I do really
That
like
can go away.
Fael, like getting her
I love
perspective.
Fael, but-
she's such a good leader in that arc that is like, well, if we're gonna have her as like a relatively big character, that would be a big loss from her.
But they could establish that at the battle for Emmons Field too, which she showed great prowess and leadership.
They can do that whole storyline in like 2 or 3 episodes. As
Yeah,
long as
no,
if they just
absolutely.
do it, shorten it, it'll be much better. The problem is it just dragged on for so long. It's
Yeah.
It did,
the
it
story
dragged on a
itself
lot.
would have been if Jordan would have cut that down, I think people would have loved it a lot more.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Hmm.
I also just thought
So
of
we're-
this, and this is completely unrelated, but I don't think we're gonna have a Aiel episode anytime soon. So I wouldn't.
know.
I guess instead of her being captured by the Shido, she could be captured by the Shan-Chan because she can't channel, so she could be like a Dako Vale, right? Or right, yeah, the because they like putting pretty royal or like important people in those see-through outfits, and so you would
Yeah.
get the same sort of like shame, because she had to be stripped naked for the Aiel. You would get the same sort of demeaning attitude. So there are ways that they could make that work without the Shido.
They could still do the same plan too, because they put the fork root in the water to that'll neutralize the Damane. So
True.
they could even do the same exact plot to
You know
attack the town and everything. So
I'm happy to come on as a show screenwriter. I feel like I figured that one out.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Oh, did they just negate? I just thought of this. Did they just negate all the hunters for the horn? The
What?
end of season 1.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
the whole
Like,
thing
what?
about like the hunters for the
Yeah, the
whole,
hunters for the horn, the whole hunt for the
tradition.
horn thing. Was it just negated completely
No,
by?
it's
the
a
end,
secret. It's a Faldaran secret going back generations. I mean, easy.
Right.
Yeah.
They haven't even mentioned at this point. There would have been a mention of hunters for the horn of some sort.
They don't
I've
mention it
heard-
in the first book at all, right?
Right.
No, but
Did
the first season supposedly covered books 1 and 2, right?
No, he
No.
said books 1 and some of 2, and bits of
Okay.
2 and some of 3. It was mainly book 1 though, I think. But they could throw hunters. They could add hunters. In
They
second
could definitely
season.
do that, but I mean, for anybody watching the show that hasn't read the books, they're gonna be like, "Why are they your hunters for the horn? They've already found the fucking horn." It's gonna be really confusing.
But they already found the horn in the books. When
Yeah, I
when
don't
the
think
hunt
that's
started.
confusing at all.
Right.
Because the hunt, they didn't start talking about the hunt, the real hunt, I think, until the 3rd book, right?
I think that's right.
Um,
Because when they were in Ilion, right? Or no, Aiel
I
was a
thought they
hunter.
heard about it.
Yeah, Aiel was there in Ilion, right? So it was.
He was,
going
but-
during 6 months.
I want to say that they had mentioned it, that people are gathering for the hunt for the horn or whatever. They had mentioned it before that.
Yeah, they probably mentioned it in the 2nd. So they could throw that in there though. They could mention there's a hunt for the horn. It's rumors the horn's been found, and everybody knows it's been found. But I think they can work that in still.
Yeah. I mean, at any
Hope so, 'cause
point,
I thought that was kind of cool.
like during Rand's travels or whatever, he could run into some douche canoe hunter who's like the coolest guy in
Douche
the
canoe.
world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then we learn about hunters and how some of them are like spoiled Lord Brat people, and some of them are like Aiel. Like,
Or Perrin could meet Gaul in this season. And
Oh, that's
we could tell
gotta
the
happen.
hunter's
There we
story with him.
go.
That has to happen.
tune in next
I mean,
time when we talk
earlier-
about Perrin on the Wheel and Chill show.
There we go.
Somebody earlier was saying that there better be a Gaul. That they hope that Aiel in the cage was not Gaul, which almost guaranteed that was not
There
Gaul.
would be no reason for that to
No.
be
I
Gaul.
think-
Yeah, there would
No.
be no reason whatsoever.
I
that
think
was
Rafe
Gaul.
answered that in one of those Q&As, like Instagram Q&As, that it wasn't Gaul.
Good.
Mhm.
It wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, if we don't get Birgitta, I will be upset because I'm literally doing a cosplay for her. But you know what? The books are always there. Literally, that's the point. Like, if things change, fine, because the books are always there. There will always be a Birgitta, even if she's not in the show.
There you
Yeah,
go.
she's a little doll that got
Aw.
left on a trail by
Oh
Matt.
yeah, they did mention her, so literally, it's it's canon in the show and in the books. Will the douche canoe ride a lion? Why? Like what?
Douche
What are we talking about? I just looked down and read that. I was like,
Hunter
why?
riding a lion.
Maybe. I feel like the lions are in the waste, though. Why would there be lions in Ilion or Carian or wherever the heck he would meet him? I don't know. That's too far. A bridge too far. All right. So okay,
We're
I think we've had a decent stream. Does anybody have any final thoughts about Rand's arc going forward that you haven't yet mentioned? No.
Will he change his clothes?
No.
Yeah. I think he's gonna go into
Clothes.
hiding. We're gonna get new Rand clothes. Hopefully.
Oh, we'll start wearing lordly clothes, right?
Well,
They did say in an interview that they spent a lot of time designing clothes that they were going to wear throughout the like the entire series. So
we're gonna get new clothes.
Yeah.
you think? All right.
I hope we get that, Maureen. Well, we're
Let's
not
see
going to
it.
get that, but Maureen burning his old clothes. We should have got we can get that scene.
Yeah, he's not gonna get new clothes from Moraine unless
No.
she shows up in Carian, or maybe
Okay.
Lanfear gets some new clothes in Carian. I don't know.
Maybe Land brings some new clothes.
Land gives him warder clothes. That would be cool.
Stands for men.
Land's End.
Stands End.
Sorry.
Oh, God.
Sorry.
Keep 'em coming.
Wow.
It's
That was
so
awesome.
Rand from
Lan is
Jessica's
the easiest name ever to just like punify. You know what I mean? Like it's so yeah. Anyways, okay, so doesn't sound there being no further business on the stream. This was lovely. Thank you all for being in the chat. We've covered Rand deep dive. He's definitely going to the Waste or Falma or Tyr or Carian or any of those in combination. You heard it here first.
Shine.
So great. That's okay. Yeah, I will be actually watching the Legend of Vox Machina after this for one episode and doing a reaction video for that. So that'll come up soon. I've been watching that. It's super cool. If you haven't seen it yet, it's great.
Watching make it right after this?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I just won.
Oh yeah, and I have a Rand's shepherd's pie recipe available on winespringcafe.com.
Oh, okay.
Delicious, you guys.
And make sure to check out talkaroundriod.com, which I will be posting in the description of this video just as soon as I can because I was in a hurry, and so the description is not very helpful right now. And Tavern, any special announcements?
I just have one question for the chat real quick. One, you'll see the new logo. Well, you saw it on the mug. You'll see it on the thumbnail for this afterwards. We have changed, or thinking about changing, to not just be a Wheel of Time show, but fantasy and pop culture. So if there's a topic or a show or something that you want us to cover, on here, for lack of a better word, please let us know. You can either send any of us a message on Twitter, and say, yeah, we want to talk about this, or we want to talk about that, or whatever, Vox Machina, or any of the Marvel stuff, Harry Potter, whatever. Let us know, and we will, try to do an episode on it.
For sure. And speaking of Wheel and Chill, I forgot to mention that we used to be on Mondays. Today we're on Thursday, but going forward we will be on Tuesdays. So that's that's.
We need a name.
Turbo Tuesdays,
Tuesday.
Get into my Discord, give us ideas. Honestly, somebody in my Discord, one of my patrons actually recommended Vox Machina to me, so Discord's also a great place to recommend new stuff for us, because I'm a big fan of that. You guys nailed that one. So there being no further business, Joe, thank you so much. This was so lovely. My co-host,
Thanks for having me.
You're the best. Joe, do you have any announcements? I said your website, but nothing else?
No, I mean, you could also find anywhere you can find podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Google, all those great places you can find us. So
check out Talkaround Riod. It's
go listen.
It's the tits. Trademark.
It is
I'm pointing the wrong way. That way.
Okay.
Very nice. Very nice tips.
All right, and that is all for us. Thank you guys so much.
Quirky podcast.
And we'll catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.